The twin moons hung low over the purple sky as Leo stepped off the ramp of his ship. The ground beneath him felt soft, like a mix of sand and grass. This planet called Zalora by the locals was peaceful, quiet, and far away from any galactic conflict. That was why Leo volunteered to come. After years in deep space, he needed somewhere calm, somewhere different. He was here as a part of a human-alien outreach program. Humans had only recently made contact with the Zalorians, and this was one of the first missions to help build trust. He wasn't a soldier or a commander, just a technician and a scout. But Leo liked learning about new worlds, new people. Zalora, with its glowing trees and peaceful skies, felt like a dream. The Zalorians were tall and elegant, with skin that shimmered like moonlight and eyes that changed color with their emotions. They welcomed Leo kindly, offering him shelter. Near the village's edge, they shared fruit, strange sweet drinks, and even showed him how to ride their small air gliders. He was starting to feel at home, but there was one Zalorian who never smiled, one who never spoke. Her name was Elari. Leo first saw her standing alone by the river, her back turned to the village. Her long silver hair moved gently in the wind. Glowing lines marked her arms and neck like a pattern, almost like writing. He thought she looked like a statue, still and distant. When he tried to say hello, she didn't reply. She only looked at him with cold, unreadable eyes, then turned and walked away. He asked the others about her. They exchanged nervous glances, then said softly, "She has sealed her soul." Leo didn't know what that meant. Tried to ask more, but they only shook their heads and warned, "Do not disturb her." She chose silence. Still, Leo couldn't help but wonder. Every day he saw her, sometimes near the forest edge, other times walking alone by the cliffs, always quiet, always alone. One evening, while fixing a broken glider near the village field, Leo felt someone watching him. He turned on, saw Elari. She didn't say anything. She just stood there, her eyes glowing faintly blue. He gave her a small smile and said, "You can come closer if you want." She didn't move. "I won't bother you," he added. "Just fixing this thing." He went back to his work. For a few minutes, she stayed. Then, as silently as she arrived, she walked away. After that, she began showing up more often, never speaking, never helping, but always near. She watched him fix machines, listened to him talk to others, even sat across the field while he practiced. Playing his old Earth harmonica, Leo started talking to her anyway. He told her about Earth, about the oceans and the skies full of birds. He told her about his childhood, how he once wanted to be a pilot, and how he ended up out here instead. He wasn't sure if she listened, but she never walked away. One night, a cold wind swept through the valley. Leo heard shouting and ran outside his shelter. A villager pointed toward the cliffs. Larry collapsed. Someone cried. Without thinking, Leo ran toward the edge of the cliffs. He found her lying on the ground, shivering, the glowing lines flickering weakly. She had wandered too far during the windstorm, wrapped his coat around her, and gently lifted her up. "You're okay," he whispered. "I've got you." She didn't speak, but her eyes looked into his. It's not cold this time. It's just tired. He brought her into his shelter, laid her near the heater, and gave her water. She sipped slowly, her hands trembling. Leo sat beside her and said, "You don't have to talk, just rest." She stared at him for a long moment, then very faintly nodded. He smiled. Progress. That night, he didn't sleep much. He watched over her as she rested. She didn't leave his shelter. Maybe she was too weak. Maybe she felt safe. Either way, Leo felt something shift, like a small wall had been lowered between them. When dawn came, she stood up slowly. She looked at him one last time, then walked out. From that day, she came closer. She even helped him gather small parts or fruits. Never a word, never a smile, but something had changed. One day, while picking blue star fruit together, their hands brushed. Her fingers were warm against his skin. And in that single moment, Leo felt something. Not a voice, not words, but a soft pulse in his mind. Like a heartbeat. It wasn't his. He looked at her in surprise. She quickly pulled her hand away, stepping back. Her markings pulsed once, like a flicker of lightning under her skin. She turned and walked away fast. Leo stood there, heart pounding. He whispered to himself, "What was that?" Leo couldn't stop thinking about the moment their hands touched. It was more than skin against skin. It felt like something passed through him, like a whisper inside his chest. Not words, not sound, just feeling. He spent the next day looking for Ilari, but she didn't appear near the glider field or the river. The other villagers said they hadn't seen her since morning. Leo felt uneasy. He climbed the stone path toward the cliffs, where the wind was strong but the view was clear. Far below, he spotted a narrow path leading to the old ruined twisted spires made of shining rock. They looked like bones sticking out of the earth. Villagers rarely went near them. Some believed they were cursed. Others said they were sacred. Leo followed the path as he moved closer to the ruins. The air grew colder. Strange symbols carved into the stone glowed faintly. At the center of the ruins, Ilari sat on her knees, her head bowed, her hands flat against the stone floor. Leo stepped forward quietly. "Ilari," said softly. She didn't look at him, but he noticed the silver lines on her arms pulsing faster than before. "I didn't mean to scare you yesterday," Leo added. "I just felt something. It was like your soul brushed mine." This time, she slowly turned her head. Her eyes were dark with something deep: grief, fear, or maybe both. She opened her mouth, but no sound came out. Still, her lips moved. He saw one word: leave. Leo didn't move. "I can't do that," he said gently. "I think you need someone. Even if it's just a quiet presence." Suddenly, the ruins trembled slightly. Not an earthquake, but something deeper. The energy around Ilari grew heavier. Stone under her hands lit up with strange patterns. She shut her eyes tight, breathing. Faster, Leo stepped closer. "Ilari, what's happening?" A gust of cold wind hit him in the chest. He stumbled backward. Ilari opened her eyes, now glowing bright silver, and in his mind he heard her voice. Not through his ears, but directly. Inside his thoughts, "I sealed it. To protect them. To protect myself." Leo blinked. "You're speaking in my mind?" "Only through touch or great emotion. The soul path is closed." "Why did you close it?" She looked away. "I failed. Long ago. During the binding ritual. Too many minds were open. Not too many feelings. I couldn't hold them. The pain broke. Everything. I hurt people." Leo knelt down across from her. "But that wasn't your fault. I sealed my soul. The council allowed it. I chose silence. They gave me peace. Until you came." "You're not broken," he said firmly. "Hurting and healing starts by letting someone in." Ilari's eyes dimmed. Her shoulders dropped. Her arms trembled slightly. Leo didn't reach for her this time. He simply sat quietly. After several minutes, the light around them faded. The ruins calmed. She stood up slowly, still silent with her lips. But her eyes seemed softer now. She walked past him and paused at the edge of the ruins. Without looking back, she raised her hand slightly, signaled. Leo followed. Over the next few days, something changed between them. Ilari returned to the village with him. People stared, surprised. She hadn't entered the village in many months. The elders watched her carefully, but said nothing. Leo spoke for her when needed, explaining she was helping him with repairs, and she did. She gathered parts, moved equipment, and even pointed out shortcuts to fix the gliders. She still didn't use her voice, but now and then when they touched by accident, or when emotions ran high, Leo would hear her in his mind. Her thoughts were calm, thoughtful, sometimes poetic. She told him about the Mindbind, how Zalorian leaders could connect their souls to guide their people. Ilari had once trained for it. She was young, full of hope, chosen by the elders to lead the new generation. But something went wrong. Too many thoughts rushed in at once. She couldn't handle it. Overload caused pain, panic, and in her panic, others got hurt. Nothing fatal, but deep emotional wounds. Since then, she sealed herself. It was the only way to stop the storm inside her. I was afraid, she once said in his mind. If I let someone near again, the storm may return. What if it doesn't? Leo had replied. What if you're stronger now? Hilary didn't answer. Dade, but her eyes glowed a calm green hope. One morning, Leo was helping a young Zalorian boy who had broken his leg while playing. The boy cried out in pain, and Leo tried to carry him, but he slipped. Before he fell, Hilary appeared beside him. She caught the boy gently, placed her hand on his chest, and a soft glow surrounded them. The boy's crying stopped. His body relaxed, not healed, but soothed. Leo looked at her in amazement. You can still do it? Hilary looked at her hand, surprised. You connected to him, Leo said. I saw it. She gave him a small nod. The villagers who had gathered nearby whispered in awe. The Silent One. Use the soul path again, one elder said quietly. Didn't seem proud or afraid, just calm, like a piece of her had returned. Leo smiled at her. You're not lost. You're just waiting to be found. Hilary stared at him. Then for the first time she reached out, not by accident, not in panic, but with choice. She placed her hand on his arm, and her voice echoed gently in his mind. Thank you. After that day, Hilary walked with Leo more often. She still didn't speak out loud, but the bond between them was growing stronger. Sometimes she would look at him, and he would hear her thoughts clearly, like gentle waves brushing his mind. She still kept most of her feelings hidden, but little by little, she allowed him in. One evening, the sky turned orange and gold as the sun dipped behind the glowing cliffs. Leo sat by the river, tossing small stones into the water. Hilary sat beside him, her legs crossed, watching the ripples. You know, Leo said, I used to be afraid of silence. Hilary tilted her head. On Earth, we fill silence with noise music, talking, machines. But here, silence feels alive. Hilary touched the river gently. Her markings glowed like moonlight. In Leo's mind, he heard her whisper, silence can hold truth or pain. He nodded. I think yours held both. She looked at him and didn't answer. The silence between them now was peaceful. Leo leaned back and closed his eyes. Why me, Hilary? Why can I hear you? Why did your soul respond to me? For a long moment there was nothing. Then he felt her hand brush his shoulder. Her voice entered his thoughts again. Your soul is open. Not many are. You listen, even when words are gone. He turned his head to her. So, it's rare. Very. I felt something stir in his chest. It's not fear, not confusion, but something gentle, warm. He had felt alone most of his life, floating from mission to mission, place to place. But here, with her, he didn't feel alone. That night he dreamed of silver light and soft music, like a song without words. When he woke, Hilary was gone. The next morning, a large ship landed near the village. It bore the symbol of the Zalorian. High Council. Several elders and guards stepped out wearing long robes and golden masks. They came with calm faces, but their arrival made everyone uneasy. Leo stood by as the council spoke to the village leaders. He couldn't understand most of the ancient language, but he picked up a few words. Soul path, danger, ritual. He saw Hilary in the distance, watching from behind a tree. Her eyes were dim and her body tensed. Leo walked to her quietly. What's going on? Her voice came into his thoughts slowly, like someone walking across ice. They came for me. They felt the path open again. They fear it. Oh, but you helped that boy. The village saw it. They don't care. They remember the past. Leo clenched his jaw. So what now? They may ask me to return to the sealing grounds, to shut my soul forever. What? No. Not hope. Leo took her hands gently. Then I'll speak for you. Her eyes widened slightly. They won't listen to humans. Then we make them listen. Leo stood before the council that evening, under the glowing crystal lanterns. The whole village gathered around, silent and waiting. Hilary stood behind him, her face calm, but her fingers tight around the edge of her robe. One of the council leaders stepped forward. His voice was deep and slow. "You are the human named Leo. You speak for the one who sealed her soul." Leo nodded. "I've seen her grow stronger. I've seen her help others. She's not a danger. She's a guide." The elder shook. His head, "The path once caused harm." Her emotions opened to flood. Io replied firmly, "And now her emotions are healing people. Isn't that what you wanted from your soul guides?" Another elder raised a hand. "Humans do not understand the weight of such power." "You're right," Leo said, "I don't. But I understand pain. I understand fear. I know what it means to come back from it." He looked back at Elari. "She's not asking to lead. She's asking to live." The council grew silent. Then one elder spoke, older than the rest, his voice like wind on stone. "There is a way to prove it, the path of memories." Ilari looked up sharply. Leo felt her fear. "What's the path of memories?" he asked. Her voice was faint. "They will open my memories to the whole village, all of them. If the people accept me after, the seal can stay broken, and if they don't, they'll seal me again, forever." Leo turned to the council. "We accept." Laurie flinched, surprised. Leo whispered, "You're ready. I'll be with you." The next day, at sunrise, the village gathered in a wide stone circle. Ilari stood in the center. The council formed a ring around her. Leo stood just outside, close enough to see her face. The ritual began. Soft humming filled the air. Crystals on the stone floor lit up. A beam of light connected to Illyria's markings. Suddenly, images appeared in the air above her. People gasped. They saw her as a child, bright and full of joy. Then, her training energy flowing from her hands, smiles from teachers, then the failure. Dozens of minds screaming in pain. Chaos, the fear. Ilari falling to her knees, crying as others wept. Then silence. People turned away, some in sadness, some in discomfort. Leo stepped forward. "Look again." Images changed. They saw Ilari alone in the ruins, years of silence, her eyes empty. They saw her meet Leo, the glider fields, the harmonica. The boy she calmed. They saw her place her hand on Leo's shoulder and say thank you. The light faded. Lre fell to her knees. For a moment, all was still. Then a voice rose from the crowd. "She is still one of us." Another voice. "She healed my son." Then the elder spoke. "The village has spoken. The seal will not be forced." Looked up slowly. Tears glowed in her eyes. Leo stepped into the circle and took her hand. "You did it." Her voice entered his mind once more. "We did it." After the path of memories, Ilari was not the same. Neither was the village. The people who once avoided her now offered gentle nods, soft smiles, and respectful greetings. Children peeked from behind their parents, curious about the woman who once carried silence like a cloak. Ilari didn't smile back, but her silence felt different now. It was no longer a shield. It was peace. Leo walked beside her as they returned to the glider fields. The morning light made the silver lines on her skin shimmer like waves. He noticed her steps were lighter, her head held higher. "How do you feel?" he asked. Ellery paused. Her hand brushed a glowing leaf near the path. "Free," Leo smiled. "That's a good word." For days after the ritual, Ellery helped more openly. She assisted the builders with energy flow stones, taught children how to calm their minds through quiet focus, and even guided a broken glider safely down using only her thoughts. Each time the villagers watched in wonder. Not because of fear, but respect. Leo watched too. Not with awe, but with admiration. Ilari was still silent most of the time. She rarely spoke in his mind unless needed. But when she did, her words held weight. One evening, as orange clouds rolled across the sky, Ilari and Leo sat atop a high hill. From there, they could see the village, the river, and even the distant ruins. Ellery traced symbols in the dirt with her finger. Leo asked, "Is that your language?" "Yes, the old script. Only the soul guides remember it." He leaned closer. "What does that symbol mean, Bond?" He looked at her. "Between people, She nodded, double quotes like friendship. She hesitated, deeper. Bond of spirit. When two souls understand each other. Leo felt his chest tighten slightly. Is that us? Ilari looked at him. Her eyes glowed softly. She reached out, gently touching his hand, and in that moment Leo felt her emotions more clearly than ever: calmness, trust, a gentle warmth, and something else. Something like the start of love, quiet but present. He didn't speak. He only gave her hand a light squeeze in return. The peace didn't last long. A week later, a new ship entered Zalora's orbit. It wasn't a council ship, or a human one. It belonged to a private mining company known for ignoring local rules. They scanned the surface and found rare crystals near the sacred ruins without permission. They landed. Machines tore at the ground. Bright lights flashed. The ruins shook with every dig. The village trembled in fear. Leo and Ilari rushed toward the site. The air was thick with smoke and noise. Several villagers stood at the edge, unsure what to do. Leo ran forward, shouting, "You can't do this. This land is protected." The mining crew, wearing armored suits, ignored him. One man looked up briefly. "We're cleared by intergalactic law. Valuable minerals under this zone? Move aside. It's a sacred ground, not on our charts." Leo turned to Ilari. Her eyes were glowing bright blue. The silver markings on her body pulsed faster than ever before. She stepped forward, past the machines. "Stop," Leo called. "They're armed." But she didn't listen. She walked calmly toward the center of the ruins, where the mining drill roared. The workers laughed. "What's she gonna do?" Ilari knelt, placed her hands on the cracked stone, and the air changed. The ground rumbled. Not from the machines, but from deep below. Light exploded from the stone, rising like a wave of energy. The machines shut down instantly. Sparks flew. The drill broke apart midair. The workers stumbled back, shocked. The villagers gasped as the ruins glowed like stars. Ilari stood, her eyes burned like silver fire. Leo stepped beside her. "Ilari, are you okay? Are hurting the soul of this land? I must protect it." She raised her hand. The energy rose again, circling the mining ship. Lights inside it shut down. "Weapons locked," Leo shouted. "You have to leave now. She's not going to let you destroy this place." The captain growled. "This is illegal," Leo replied. "Then try reporting it. See who listens to you now." The crew scrambled back to their ship. Moments later they lifted off, engines sputtering as they disappeared into the sky. The ruins calmed. The light faded. Ilari dropped to one knee, breathing heavily. Leo rushed to her side. "You did it." She nodded slowly. "But it took much from me. The seal is fully gone now." "What does that mean?" "I cannot hide anymore." At her heart full, "You don't need to." Later that night, the villagers gathered to honor Ilari. They lit floating lanterns, each carrying a message of thanks into the sky. The village elders stepped forward and raised a small pendant. "This is the symbol of open soul," he said. "A gift never given lightly. But tonight, we give it to Ilari." The crowd cheered gently. Ilari took the pendant and turned to Leo. She didn't speak in his mind this time. Instead, for the first time, she used her real voice. Soft, clear, steady. "You were the first to see me. Truly see me." Leo's eyes widened. Ilari placed the pendant around his neck. "Now I see you, too." The wind was soft the next morning. Lanterns from the village celebration still floated in the sky, slowly drifting toward the horizon. Some flickered like stars, carrying silent wishes. Leo stood near the river, holding the small pendant Ilari had placed around his neck. It was warm against his skin, almost alive. He turned when he heard footsteps behind him. Ilari stood there, long silver hair catching the light. She had changed, not just in the way she walked or looked, but in the way she felt. There was peace in her now, mixed with something new. Purpose. "You spoke," Leo said, smiling. "Your real voice?" Ilari looked at him, calm and steady. "It was time." He nodded. I'm glad you did. They walked along the riverbank in silence. Not the uncomfortable kind, but the kind where two people didn't need words.
Right.
When they reached the tall, glowing trees at the edge of the forest, Ilari paused. Something is shifting in the sky, she said softly. Leo looked up. Another ship? No. Not human. Not council. Something else. Just then, a soft humming filled the air. Birds flew from the trees. The ground vibrated lightly. A flash of light appeared in the sky, different from any ship Leo had seen. It twisted, turned, and split apart into glowing pieces before forming a shape that hovered above the cliffs. Illyri's expression darkened. It's from the void region. Leo frowned. You mean the part of space no one enters? She nodded. Some say lost spirits dwell there. Others say it's home to forgotten machines. The ship above them pulsed. Then a voice echoed through the sky, not through sound, but through thought. It was sharp, cold, and artificial. We seek the unsealed mind. She has awakened what must not rise. Villagers ran to the center of the village, looking up in fear. Leo whispered, They're talking about you? Ilari stood tall. They want the ruins, the ancient energy. It's tied to the soul path. The voice returned, Surrender, or we will extract her. Leo looked at Ilari. We're not letting them take you. She didn't speak, but reached for his hand. The moment they touched, energy surged between them, brighter than before. Leo's mind opened wider. He didn't just hear her thoughts, he felt her memories. He saw her as a child, dancing with other Soul Dash guides. He saw the moment the ritual went wrong, and he saw something hidden, an old warning, deep in the ruins. Symbol locked away, glowing. In dark red dot, Leo gasped. Ilari, the ruins hold more than just memories. Yes, she said quietly. They hold a key. Something ancient. Something that connects to the void. And they want it. Ilari turned to the sky. Her markings glowed stronger, brighter. She walked to the edge of the village, lifted her hands, and spoke not to the people but to the sky. You are not welcome here. The soul path is no longer sealed, and this world is protected. The ship above began to shift. Dark energy gathered around it. A beam fired down, but it didn't hit the village. It struck the ruins, cracking the ground. Leo shouted, They're trying to destroy it. Ilari ran toward the ruins. Leo followed close behind. The earth shook as more beams hit the ground. Villagers watched from a distance, afraid but trusting Ilari. As they reached the ruins, energy poured out like mist. Ilari placed her hands on the central stone. The markings on her skin matched the symbols on the stone's surface. This is where it began, she whispered. Leo asked, Can you stop them? Not alone. She looked at him. Leo, you opened my soul without breaking it. If we link now, fully, we can use the ruins' energy together. Leo nodded, without hesitation. I'm with you. Ilari took his hand, their minds connected. Completely time slowed. The sky faded. Leo found himself in a space made of light and memory. Stars swirled around him. In front of him, Ilari stood, glowing like a sun. Her soul, once hidden, now fully open, together. They reached for the ruin's core. The key awoke. A wave of light burst from the ground, shooting into the sky. The strange ship screamed in a language Leo couldn't understand. It twisted, broke apart, and disappeared into the void. The ground stopped shaking. The ruins dimmed but didn't collapse. Leo fell to his knees. Breathing hard, Ilari knelt beside him. It's over, she said. For now, Leo replied. What do we release? Ilari looked at the sky. Not a weapon, not a god. A memory of unity. The ruin wasn't a prison. It was a warning and a shield. A shield for what? For souls like mine, like yours. It only opens when two minds are ready to hold it together. Leo smiled. Then we were meant to find it. Ilari touched his chest. We were meant to find each other. The sun rose slowly over the quiet land of Zalora. After the light beam from the ruins had faded, the strange ship from the void had vanished. No trace of it remained. No smoke, no shadow, nothing. Just calm skies and the sound of birds returning. To the trees, Leo and Alari sat beside the center stone in the ruins. Their hands were still joined, though the energy between them had faded to a soft warmth. They were tired but not broken. Something in both of them had changed. "We stopped them," Leo said quietly. Ilari nodded. "For now." She looked up at the sky where the ship had been. "But others may come. The void always watches." "Then we'll be ready," Leo said. Together, they sat in silence, breathing the fresh air, feeling the earth beneath them. Back in the village, people slowly came out of their homes. They walked toward the ruins, not with fear but with wonder. Children ran ahead, laughing. Elders moved slowly, heads bowed in respect. The village leader stepped forward. He looked at Alari with kind eyes. "We have seen what you truly are, and what you protect." Alari stood slowly, brushing dust from her robe. "You are not the silent one anymore," the leader said. "You are the voice of this land." Alari bowed her head. Then the elder turned to Leo. "And you, human, brought back what we thought was lost. Her soul, her strength." Leo smiled. "I just listened." The villagers placed stones around the ruins. It's carved with a simple symbol of peace. They called it a new beginning. From now on, the ruins would not be feared. They would be honored. A week passed. Repairs were made to damaged parts of the village. Children began drawing the glowing symbols Alari taught them. Some even said they could feel the energy of the ruins when they placed their hands on the stones. Lra taught short lessons each morning, not with long speeches, but with calm presence. She showed them how to feel their emotions without fear, how to open their minds just enough to feel connected but not lost. Leo helped build a new watchtower near the cliffs. He didn't plan to leave anytime soon. One night, as the stars shimmered above, Leo and Alari sat together outside his shelter. "Are you happy?" he asked. Ellery thought for a moment. "Not happy," she said gently, "but full." "What?" Leo tilted his head. "What do you mean?" "Happiness comes and goes. But this, what I feel now, what stays." Leo looked up at the stars. "I used to feel empty. It's like I was always traveling to find something. Now I think I've found it." She looked at him. "It wasn't the place," he said. "It was the person." Laurie leaned her head against his shoulder. "Your soul broke the lock, Leo. Not with force, but with kindness." Leo wrapped an arm around her. "And yours healed me in return." They stayed like that for a long time. Months passed. A message came from human space. A new mission. Was forming another alien world needed help? Leo was offered a high role. Important. Respected. He turned it down. His place was here now. More travelers came to Zalora, curious about the village that once feared its soul guides. Some wanted to learn, some just came to see Alari. But none stayed unless they understood the quiet ways of the land. Ilari's power grew stronger, not in force, but in trust. People listened when she spoke. She didn't hide her soul anymore. She guided others to open theirs slowly, carefully. One evening, a young Zalorian girl asked her, "Is it true your soul was locked once?" Alari smiled softly. "Yes." "Who unlocked it?" Alari looked across the field, where Leo was helping a boy fix a glider. Someone who didn't try to force it open. Someone who knocked and waited. The girl looked confused. "A door?" Alari nodded. "Like the gentlest door in the world." Years passed, a new structure was built around the ruins, not to cover it but to protect it. It became a place of learning, peace, and quiet connection. People from many planets came to meditate there. Some still tried to unlock its deeper powers. None succeeded. Only Alari and Leo had ever touched the true heart of the ruins, and they never told anyone. How? Because some things were not meant to be. Explained, some things were meant to be shared between souls. And in the heart of Zalora, where silence once lived like a wound, two souls sat together, full of light, full of memory, full of each other, not broken, not lost, but whole.